Hello, everyone. Welcome to the overview of Employee Center. My name is Pooja Gupta. I'm a product manager with ServiceNow.
And hi, everyone. My name is Allison French. I am also joining Pooja for today, and I am a product manager here as well.
So, why are we both talking about Employee Center with you? And why should you care? In the world that we are living in today, improving employee experience is imperative. Keeping employees engaged and productive so they can work from anywhere has never been harder. Businesses need to simplify processes and create experiences that really work for their employees.
And this is absolutely true. Before we get too far into Employee Center, Pooja and I wanted to take a step back and really talk about the why behind Employee Center. So the first thing that we like to say when it comes to the why behind Employee Center is the fact that we realize our customers need a modern and unified portal that easily scales from service delivery all the way to what we call an employee destination or modern intranet site. So if we look at the middle of this slide, we have kind of this visual that depicts the common customer employee experience journey. If we look all the way over to the left, this typically starts with this concept of employee service. And when it comes to portals, typically what this looks like is our customer would start with a service delivery portal. And that service delivery portal would really start with services for one specific function. Often, but not always, companies start with delivering IT services or maybe HR services. As we start to look over into the middle of this experience journey, we often see that scaling up to what we call an enterprise service delivery portal. So this is really where we're adding additional functions. So in addition to IT or HR, organizations are adding in workplace, legal, procurement, and other services to really, again, offer their employees that enterprise service delivery portal and experience. Then when we look all the way over to the left, we really start to see what we call our employee destination site. And really what this is it's a modern internet portal that, along with those service delivery capabilities that we've been talking about on the left of this journey, add on the layer of employee engagement and communication capabilities. So this is really the genesis, or again, the why behind Employee Center.
And if you think about that vision, of the vision of a unified portal that really scales along with their employee experience journey, it's that vision that we created the Employee Center. Employee Center is launched with our Room release. And the way we like to define Employee Center is that Employee Center is ServiceNow's new standard. We say standard essentially because it's available for all customers. It's multi-department and easily scales, not just from one department to add on to additional departments, but also scales for additional use cases. And it's truly dynamic in nature because the experiences created on it are kind of dynamically created to provide a very good experience to the end user. And it's designed for not just service delivery, but also employee engagement. This page kind of summarizes it really well. First, Employee Center is designed for enterprise services. So think about the vision that we were just talking about. It is designed to scale not just from a single department, but to multi-department. In fact, all the widgets and page navigation that we have created out of box have built-in extensibility points. We have made an effort to remove the silos not just between departments, but also different content types by creating unified browse, which essentially means that users can browse for catalog items as well as knowledge items in the same view and don't have to go to different pages for it. Second, we have ensured that Employee Center is ready to deploy. It comes with home pages with pre-enabled widgets, which have been placed according to best practice to create the best possible experience for end users. It comes with curated microsites or popular topic pages that are automatically created or dynamically created based on content that is tagged to the topic. And Employee Center ships with an out-of-box taxonomy that drives navigation and content discovery and makes it truly employee-centric. And last but not the least, Employee Center is designed for intranet-like use cases. It extends service delivery to add on to things like employee engagement and employee communication. In particular, actionable campaigns is a big capability that makes it that not just makes sure the communication is delivered, to the employees, but also make sure the employees are able to act on that communication right from the portal as they read about the communication. There's personalized content as well as enterprise search. That means users can search for content not just within ServiceNow, but content that resides out of ServiceNow as well.
All right, thank you for that overview, Pooja. So next, what we want to talk about is the fact that there are actually two packages for Employee Center. So this is a basic summary of what those packages are, and we have some more detailed slides that we'll walk through in a moment. The first thing that I want to actually call out is the fact that Employee Center is really one portal packaged as two separate store apps. So Employee Center, which is what we have on the left, and Employee Center Pro, which is what we have on the right. So when we look at Employee Center, this is really what delivers those multi-department service delivery capabilities that both Pooja and I have been talking about. So this is what enables employees to report issues, request items and services, find answers, complete to-dos, again, all across multiple departments. And if we look over at Employee Center Pro, this is really what adds on those employee communication and engagement capabilities. So this really is what enables employees to stay informed on news and events and to find those cross-enterprise answers. So this really goes back to what Pooja was just talking about on the previous slide around actionable campaigns.
So, Alison, what makes it a single portal though?
Good question. So Employee Center, again, is one portal, and the things that we see over on the Employee Center Pro side of the slide are really extensions of that base Employee Center, and we're adding on additional capabilities to that. So that's why we've actually packaged these as two separate store apps. And once we get a little bit further into our presentation, I think we have a good slide that really shows the comparison between the two. Now I want to look at this slide that really kind of breaks this down from a packaging perspective if you are an existing customer. The first thing I want to point out is actually the title of this slide. So here we can see that Employee Center is really a very much enhanced and repackaged version of our Employee Service Center portal. So if you look at this timeline, you can see that before Quebec, again, we had our Employee Service Center portal. And now beginning in Rome, that is now, again, enhanced and repackaged as Employee Center Pro. If you look all the way over to the right, again, at this top bucket of Employee Center Pro, you can see that this is included in our HR Service Delivery Professional and Enterprise packages. And Employee Center Pro is also a portal that can be licensed standalone. Beneath that kind of line break here on the slide, we also see that before Rome, we had our service portal. And so this is what existed, of course, Quebec and before. But now we can see that after Rome, really what we're recommending for all customers without that Employee Center Pro license is that base Employee Center portal. So again, this is in platform and there's no additional licensing cost for use of that portal for those employee use cases. And this screenshot kind of breaks that down further. So as Pooja and I were just talking about, again, this is one portal, but there are two different packages. And so we see the kind of similar look and feel across both Employee Center and Employee Center Pro here and the screenshots. On the left, we have our base Employee Center, and on the right, we have Employee Center Pro. Again, they look similar, but there are different features and functionality available within Employee Center Pro that we can see here in the screenshot. And one of the primary differences that you'll notice here is the fact that in the right screenshot, we have this, what we call Content Experiences widget. And I won't talk about this too deeply yet. I'll have Pooja dive a little bit deeper into this in a moment. But really, again, this is what's unlocking that engagement and communication aspect of our Employee Center Pro portal. So again, that's what's going beyond the concept of service delivery. So now I'll have Pooja walk us through the out-of-the-box homepage and kind of talk about each of these components and widgets.
Thanks, Alison. So what you see on the screen here is actually the screenshot of Employee Center Pro homepage. And as I'll walk you through this, I'll call out the features which are specific to Pro, so keep an eye out for that. And as you can see from the slide that Alison just showed, the look and feel is not very different. And for anything that is not Pro, if you just remove it, the Employee Center homepage kind of just adjusts to the similar look and feel. So first, many of our customers were looking for a new modern portal theme. So with the Employee Center release, we have a very nice looking model portal home theme that is applied to all the different pages. within Employee Center. Second, we have the content experiences widget. This is the widget that Alison was just talking about, and it is only available with Employee Center Pro. If you see the screenshot, it is that big banner, the nice looking banner that you see right on top with the new iPhone launch announcement. And you can see that there are two main things that come out of it. One, it is, yes, pretty good looking, but if you would see on the right hand side, there is also tabs that show different other campaigns or communications that the organization is pushing towards the end user. So with this banner, you can have more than just one top level communications out to the end user, and they can select and see which one is more applicable to them. Secondly, if you would see on the left bottom side of this widget, there is a button which we call the call to action button. So the user can actually act using that button right from this banner image to do the required activity that the communication is calling for. So it's pretty powerful. You can have different content types attached in this. There can be banners or style content as part of our Rome release. And in our upcoming releases, you can do a lot more different content types with this widget. So it's pretty powerful. Third, we have the curated experiences widget. It's not a widget; it's actually a capability. It's a section. It's a combination of multiple different things that come together with what we call out-of-box taxonomy or a unified taxonomy. So to think about unified taxonomy, imagine a three-tier topic structure. So to give you an example, it would be IT, hardware, computer, and you have this three tiering of topics across different departments and across different categories, across catalog and knowledge. And essentially what is happening is all the content that you have, whether it is catalog items, knowledge, quick links, applications, all of that are essentially tagged to the topics. And what is happening is, if you would see right on the left, on the third point here, there are multiple different widgets which are driven or created based on what we have the topic structure as. So first is the mega menu widget. On the next screen, I'll show you a deeper screenshot of it, but it is essentially the top navigation that you see on the portal. That navigation is driven out of the topic structure that you create with the unified taxonomy. Then there is the popular topics widget, which kind of surfaces the topics that are most relevant or popular for users and makes browsing or finding those topics a lot easier. And then each of these topics also have their own page, which are dynamically created to surface or unify the browse between different content types. We'll talk about curated experiences more deeply, so don't worry about it. We'll provide a lot more details on what is curated experiences on the next page. Let me go ahead, meanwhile, and walk you through all the other pieces on the home page. So the fourth one is the recommended for you widget. Now this is similar to the relevant for you widget that we had with Employee Service Center and is now being made available for all customers as being part of Employee Center and Employee Center Pro. Now, for IT, SM and HRSD Pro licenses, this will be machine learning driven. And for every other, it would be popularity driven. Number 5, we have the My Active Items widget. This widget summarizes all the different tasks and to-dos that a user has. Out of box, these are typically tasks and requests. And you can add additional things like surveys, appointments, reservations, any of the other items that you want to include as part of this widget. It also highlights some of the major quick tasks or top 3 quick tasks that are featured that are most relevant for the user. And they can act right from the portal homepage. Then the next widget we have is the quick links widget. This is another widget that actually helps finding content making finding content a lot easier. You can actually tag content of all kinds, from external URLs to catalog items to knowledge items to additional pages with a nice looking image as quick links right on the homepage. Then we have the videos widget, which is the pro only widget. And then we have a new footer widget shipped as part of Employee Center. Something that's not visible on this page, because this is just the home page, is that we have also improved the approver experience as part of Employee Center. So when an approver goes into the approver homepage, they can actually see a lot more details on what the request is for. They can add comments if they're rejecting it, and they can also see what their past approvals were. So a lot of new things coming with Employee Center. One of the things that we are most excited about is the curated experience. So let me just double down on that. So what you see on the screen here is actually all the front end facing things that affect the end user as it comes to curated experiences. I spoke briefly about the mega menu navigation. And as you can see on this small screenshot here, it is a 2x2 matrix. It's not a drop down when a user clicks on HR or IT. They can actually see the entire the 3-tier topic structure right on the topic mega menu with just one click. So this mega menu navigation really helps reduce the number of clicks that a user would need to do to actually find content, because with one click they can browse all the topics that is underneath that main topic. And again, I spoke about popular topics as well. This will highlight the topics that has the most number of clicks when it comes to content. And both these widgets are available with Employee Center and Employee Center Pro. Then we have the dynamic topic pages. And the next page, I will walk you through these a little bit more. But essentially, I want to call out that the topic pages are available for both Employee Center and Employee Center Pro. The difference being the nice, good-looking widget that we had for Employee Center Pro is actually available on topic pages as well with Employee Center Pro. So what this helps in creating these topic pages more like, treating them more like microsites. And that is a functionality that is a feature or capability that we will double down quite a bit in our upcoming roadmap. And finally, these topic pages are also available with the mobile experience. So if you download the latest Now Mobile app from ServiceNow, you can actually have the same look and feel of these topic pages on the mobile experience. So this really helps create an omni-channel experience for end users. Now, let me double down on the dynamic topic pages a little bit and walk you through why are these dynamic and what they look and feel like. Now, at the very top, we have the topic header, and you can have your own icons, and you can have a description text that actually tells what this topic page is for. And then I mentioned you have this good looking banner for Employee Center Pro portals. And then you can also see all the subtopics that are associated with this top tier topic. So you can browse and see what all is available. Now, if you look at this last section over here on the left, it's called Unified Browse. It's called out as that. You can actually see it has request as well as articles surfacing in the same screen. So this is essentially our unified browse capability, that users can actually search for both different kinds of content and never have to bother into whether this is something that I need to get into Service Catalog or get into knowledge bases for, because for them it's kind of unified, and they look at them. They can browse all of these things together. And if you will see these light blue boxes, organizations can actually also feature content that they want users to actually look into first as part of these pages, and that's super powerful and super important. Then we have quick links which are tagged with the topics. All of them are also surfaced on the right. We can have videos, upcoming events, and all the other widgets that are part of Service Portal also made available on the topic pages. So it's a pretty powerful. The best part is none of this needs to be maintained by the admin, because once the admin has content tagged to the topics in the taxonomy, this page is automatically created by the portal. So gone are the days when you have to maintain and create and design topic pages, because all of that work has been done by Employee Center already. Now, let me give you a little bit more details in terms of how is Employee Center different from Employee Center Pro. In a single sentence, one thing that I want to say is if you think about service delivery use cases, think about Employee Center. If you're thinking about service delivery with employee communication and engagement capabilities, aka employee destination site, think about Employee Center Pro. And that's how the capabilities are also distributed over here. Now, if you would see the left-hand column, the one in gray, the way I like to position it is that think of these as rails that are available with each of these portals, Employee Center and Employee Center Pro. And what train you ride on these rails depends on what capabilities you are licensed for. To give you an example, in the third row, you see chat. Now, chat is a rail that is available with Employee Center and Employee Center Pro. But whether you're able to ride virtual agent light train or virtual agent full depends on what licenses you have. So if you're ITSM standard, you will be able to ride only virtual agent light. But if you're HRSD Pro or ITSM Pro, you get the full virtual agent with Employee Center and Employee Center Pro. And this is same for tasking as well. If you're an ITSM customer and don't have HRSD, you will not have HR tasks. And then if you will see the bottom rows, machine learning, content experiences, enterprise search, and employee communities, all of these are Employee Center Pro related capabilities. And these are the ones that drive employee engagement and employee communication. Alison, you want to talk about, when should customers think about Employee Center and Employee Center Pro and a little bit more of their journey with adoption?
Absolutely, yes. So this slide really outlines what this means for you as a customer now that we have launched both Employee Center and Employee Center Pro. And where I'm going to start is with the right bucket, actually. So if you are a new customer and you are newly implementing a portal, our recommendation to you is, of course, to deploy the latest version of Employee Center from the ServiceNow store. And so, of course, if you are licensed for Employee Center Pro, so if you are HR Professional, HR Enterprise, or separately licensed, you would have access to, again, Employee Center Pro over Employee Center. And if not, you would have access to the Employee Center capabilities that Pujo is just walking us through, which again are really honing into those service delivery needs. Now moving towards the middle of the slide, let's say that you are an existing Employee Service Center customer. For you, this is actually an upgrade process. And so once your instance is on the Roam family release, after upgrading to Roam, what you would do is actually install the latest Employee Center Pro app from the ServiceNow store. And this would be an opt-in process for you to review these new functionalities that Pooja has walked us through to determine what you would like to implement at your organization. And again, this is really more of an upgrade process for you after your release is on Roam, and you would opt in and review all of the capabilities. Now let's say that you are an existing Service Portal customer. So the recommended option for our existing Service Portal customers is to migrate to Employee Center to really take advantage of that new out-of-the-box experience and homepage that we have walked through. The one call out I would make is that technically speaking, Employee Center and Service Portal are built off of the same tech stack. So you do have the option to continue using Service Portal and incorporate specific widgets that are new with Employee Center into your Service Portal. However, that's not necessarily the recommended path, as there are certain capabilities such as the curated experience capabilities that Pooja walked us through that wouldn't be readily incorporated into a customized service portal. So that's why we have option one of migrating to Employee Center highlighted as the recommended path, again, for our service portal customers. The other thing I would point out is that we know that this is a big topic. We're really excited about Employee Center and Employee Center Pro, and we're sure that you have questions after watching this video. And so we actually want to point you to some additional resources on the topic. And first off, if you're not already familiar with our ServiceNow community, this is really a website that we host to allow people to engage, learn, and share their knowledge on ServiceNow. So whether you're a customer, a partner, or an employee. And whenever I'm talking about community, I like to give just a couple of fun facts. So first, I want to point out that we have over 270,000 registered members from across the globe on our ServiceNow community. And those members are very active. So, as part of community, you can post questions and receive answers. And typically, questions that are asked on our community are actually answered within half a day. The other thing that I want to point out about community is that we actually have dedicated forums for specific interest areas and products. And we have one specifically dedicated to Employee Center. So if you go out to our community site, which is community.servicenow.com, the easiest way to get there is to search for Employee Center. Once you've searched for Employee Center, you'd want to refine your results to forums. And you can do this via a couple of different click paths, but we're showing here on the screen just one of those options. If you go ahead and click into forums, you'll see Employee Center at the top of your search result list. And once you click into that, this is kind of a preview of what our Employee Center community forum looks like. A couple of things I want to point out. First, across the top, you'll see that we actually have an Employee Center Academy. So this is a monthly live enablement session that we are hosting that really dives in and focuses on how you configure and deploy certain features of Employee Center. So I definitely recommend registering for this, as again, this is something that will recur on a monthly basis. And the next thing I want to point out is that we have other resources that are in written format published. So you'll see some additional tiles here like Get Started, Deep Dive, Get Answers, and Continue Learning. These are all things that will continue to grow over time, but they are really great resources that I recommend checking out in addition to the actual live Academy session that I talked about before. So if you're not already aware of community, please make an account and please subscribe to our Employee Center forum for updates on new content and to really review all of that written content that we also have that I mentioned across the bottom tiles. All right, with that, this is a wrap. Anything else on your mind, Pooja, before we close out?
No, please post your questions. I'm sure you will have many of those into our community, and we are looking forward to answering them. Thank you so much for taking the time.